welcome in.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Felicia.
I'm Bernie DeRozier.
All right.
So, tell us about yourself.
My name is Bria Gardner, and I'm from Miami, Florida. I attended Open University to receive my bachelor's degree in social work, and I'm currently receiving my master's in social work at FAMU.
So, Brianne, what skills would you utilize if you were to work in this agency?
During my time at Ashikaran, I had the opportunity to gain experience working with people of different cultural backgrounds. This has helped me develop sensitivity around cultural history, and I assure you, if I work for your company, I will utilize those skills at your agency.
Thank you.
What's a conflict that you've encountered in a past workplace, and how did you handle it?
A conflict I recently encountered was actually at my current placement at Tallahassee Counseling Center. There was a dispute between me and one of my colleagues during a meeting, but instead of allowing it to blow out of proportion, I pulled him aside and we had a conversation about it, and it didn't even get to my supervisor. So that's how I ended up resolving it, by communicating my issue with him.
Thank you so much for coming today, Brianne. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I actually have a question for you. So my question is, what is the best part about working at this agency?
Well, the best part about working in this agency is just witnessing your clients' victories. You know, you fight many battles with them, and to see them overcome those battles, it just gives you that reminder of why you do what you do and your passion.
My second question is for you, Miss Lewis.
Okay.
What is the worst part about working here?
I would say the hardest part about working at this agency is that sometimes you start to internalize the trauma that the clients go through as if it's your own, and you bring that home with you, and sometimes it's hard to let go of.
Okay, and so my last question is for both of you. When can I expect to hear back from you guys?
By the end of the week, I would say Friday by 12 p.m.
That sounds like a good amount of time.
Okay, thank you guys so much for this opportunity.
Oh no, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch.
That was a pretty good interview.
I'd have to agree. What did you like about her?
Well, first, she dressed very nicely, very professional, and she was early. So that shows that she's very punctual. It seemed like she had on paper, it seems like she has a lot of experience, and I feel like that would be beneficial to this agency.
I also really liked the layout of her cover letter and resume. It's very
really
simple to read.
Also,
and
catches the eye with the colors.
Very aesthetically appealing. Yes, ma'am. So, like you said, on paper, I do believe that she is a great candidate. She also seemed to be very informed, based on the information that she provided us with in the interview. The only thing that I think I would have preferred for her to work on is her confidence and her.
She seemed nervous.
Her. Let me see. How do you say this? There was like a few lapses in her sentence structure.
Yeah,
there it is. That's
I
what it was.
agree.
There was a couple times where she seemed a little bit unsure of what she was gonna say, but you know, it happens. Other than that, I really believe that she could be our top candidate for
I agree.
this position.
I definitely agree.
Hello. Hi.
I'm Felicia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Felicia. I'm Brianne.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So, just to get started, Felicia, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am a recent graduate from University of Alabama. I have my master's in child welfare, and I'm looking for a new placement in an agency that aligns with my values and my passion for working with children.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Felicia. And now, can you give us 2 strengths?
Definitely. Number one, I think that I am very detail oriented, which is helpful in situations like this because there's a lot of documentation that needs to occur, right? We need to be very on top of observations that we make about the kids. We need to know what's going on in their lives so that we can follow up and be there for them the way that they need us to. So detail orientation, that's great. And then I also find that I am a great listener. And a lot of these kids just want to have a place where they can come and express themselves and not be judged and not be over-talked and not be dismissed, you know, and I would be able to provide that for them.
So Felicia, give us 2 of your weaknesses, 2 areas where you feel like you need to grow in.
One of my areas that need growth is my conversational skills. Sometimes I can tend to be to myself, kind of reserved and quiet, and in the profession of social work, particularly child social work, I feel like it is more beneficial to be extroverted and warm and welcoming, and sometimes those characteristics, which I do possess, are not always shown all the way because I am not eager to speak all the time. Is that our second area for growth for me would be knowing when to ask for help. So sometimes I will struggle silently just because I don't want to bother my supervisor, I don't want to bother my colleagues, and I feel like eventually I will get it. But it would be more efficient if I would just realize that I don't know how to do this particular task and, you know, go and get the advice or the instructions and run back and finish it rather than spend all of this time trying to figure it out on my own with no basis of, you know, knowledge in that area.
So, Felicia, how do you plan on turning those weaknesses into strengths?
Well, for one, I've already started acting on this one. My elevator talk, as they say. I've been practicing talking to random people that I meet in the coffee shop, in the elevator, when I'm walking down the street, you know, just sparking up conversation just to practice. Being comfortable talking about little things, small talk. In terms of learning to ask for help, it is a more difficult process, to be honest, but I am pushing myself to make sure that I have clarity on assignments, to make sure that when I see something that is confusing to me, I will go and ask somebody, whether it's my desk partner, whether it's my supervisor. I push myself to go ahead and bring my concerns or my confusions to someone.
Awesome. What conflict have you encountered in your past work experience, and how did you handle it?
One conflict that I experienced recently was One conflict that I experienced recently was with a coworker who did not feel that I was friendly, felt like I was reserved and kind of full of myself in a sense because I did not go out of the way to socialize with everyone else. This was a difficult thing to deal with because since they felt like I was reserved and intentionally isolating myself, they did not really confront me on the issue. And I was not aware that it existed for a long time. And then I happened to hear conversation happening in the break room and decided to address it head on. I asked my coworkers to come in for a meeting, and we went ahead and discussed that I am more introvert than I am extrovert. So when I am not readily conversing with them, it's not because I am intending to be unfriendly or unwelcoming or unwarm, but because that is just my natural disposition. However, you know, you have to add in the working aspect to it so that they can feel comfortable. I told them that I am working on being more comfortable engaging in small conversations and going on their little endeavors as well, because I do want them to be comfortable and recognize that I am a friendly, warm-hearted person.
Well stated.
Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia.
Okay, Ms. Lewis, thank you for these